Hello everyone, and welcome to another round of free enterprise between LordBobBree and Fleury14 in the Red Moon Waning phase. This is an elimination match between these two long-standing runners in the community. I'm joined here in the booth by Poydrak. Poydrak, how you doing, friend?
Well, it's midnight for me. I probably should be in bed, but everyone knows that. So let's get involved in this. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
Sleep is a wonderful thing, but you know, so is free enterprise. I can understand the push and pull there, but yeah, we have. I'm actually not sure I caught what the character start is, but we have a collection of bosses. Of course, on Red Moon, they're always special.
Yeah,
this collection is really no different.
It's edged. We can tell on Flurry's side that you can see the character on there. Fasoya and Cecil are disappeared.
Oh yeah, with the characters. Clever.
Yes.
So what stands out to you about an edge start on these seeds?
Power, actually. Through 6 spells, usually you have to do a few bosses to get him to some good stuff. Cecil, not really a whole lot, but edge starts speedy, very speedy. You can do a lot of things with him with his short blades and strength gear to start off with. It's really just a power start.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. That vanilla flag giving him... Most characters start out with their, like level 10 base gear, not very good, but Edge with those double short swords. The headband, or maybe it's the other one, and the black belt, yeah, really it's just ready to go. I also think of elemental weaknesses with Edge particularly, because he can hit so many of them. Mute Daggers can hit the Mega Sisters, the Shura Spot, Fireclaw can hit the D-Lunars, the Thunderclaw can hit Odin, and any kind of a back row weapon, which he has options. Well, the main options, the Full Moon, can help him against CPU. So yeah, power definitely agreed there.
And if you're very lucky, you can get it in the Super Smith, the Sunrise.
Oh, but that's such a fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like a 1 in 18 chance, though. So maybe not.
It's always a Sunrise Boomerang when I don't have Edge in the seed. When I do have, it's like, yeah, the Oscar Restreamer calling for scrap metal, because it always is. Or like, Apollo Harp or something, which, it's an okay weapon for Edward, but it's not what you want.
Yeah. So you're a member of the Red Group sort of club, Red Moon Club, aren't you? In terms of optimum team go with an Edge, what would you say would be best?
In terms of what, sorry?
In terms of an optimum team that you would like to see, what would you like?
What would I like to see in terms of an optimum? I missed a word there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what would be your best team that you feel?
Oh, team. Got it. Well, first I'll say we're starting with Evil Wall, which we're not looking for, Porum, and that was an Earth Crystal, so that's love that. That's the treasury. Team-wise, I either love my mages, Pal and Porum, early twin access, or if I'm gonna get Zerkers on Red Moon, it's tricky because you only really get access to, with a proper anchor, you only get 2 front row Zerkers, so I actually like seeing Sid, of all things, just because you can back row him, or a Full Moon for an Edge, and then like a Kane, but then, who's your third Zerker? Sid ends up being that person for me. Or you end up with a lot of hybrid strats. I don't know, teams, it's just sort of like I go with the flow, but yeah. Tala, always nice to see as well. But yeah, for now, we're
Tala
just kind of
seems
off.
to be a very... Tala seems to be the one you want to see, because he brings in so much. But I like to see a Porum, Rosa, and likely someone I can slingshot later. So Rydia is okay. A Yarn definitely is a ace for this, with all the things that are the low amount of loot that you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely nice with a tall start for sure. So Flurry finding in the Ashura Cave, sorry, the Ashura Cave. My brain is dyslexia.
It is now.
It's a canon, it's the Ashura Cave. In the D-Mist in the Mist Cave, finding the Ashura fight. So that was an objective. And then LordBobBree immediately running to Baron in. I love the aggression. We're talking about that early starting power. Oh, unfortunately, it takes a hard hit from Octomom there. I think the damage range can vary pretty high with that black belt on, but yeah. Also, Treasury. Kind of happens so fast.
I'd actually take that. That's got quite a few things for a ninja that you want. Ninja Blade, Dancing Dagger, Sorcerer Robe in there as well. Not too bad.
For T Pro, that was a pretty powerful treasury. You find things relevant to the characters you have right now. Even, I think I saw maybe a Drain Spear or a Gungnir in there. That's a very functional dart if you don't turn it to money. Absolutely love to see it. I definitely prefer seeing this for Fleury over running to Baron in, only because you can get that power spike from the treasury, but this aggression from LordBobBree could lead to ward, particularly like an early darkness, something we've seen before. If there's a Tella in the seed, Baron tends to be one of the last things runners do, so you know, it's kind of wait to see what he gets here. But meanwhile, yeah, Fleury
the fight against
characters.
Yeah, the fight against Octomom in this spot, though, is a dangerous one.
It is.
He hits really hard here. It's not the fastest in this spot compared to what Octomom can be doing, but it's still big hitting, as we've already seen.
Yeah, and this spot has kind of some variable agility, so, you know, Edge might end up actually being faster here or not, just depending on the roll of dice. I think this might have been a better roll for him, because just holding A, not really taking that extra hit. Able to get a Baron key, which is a bit spooky. You'd love to do that immediately. We'll see if he wants to, though. Meanwhile, there's that radio you like seeing. Set up for a slingshot later.
Yeah. It's nice to see the Baron key, because very much there's 3 bosses in there. We know one of them isn't required, but there's 3 bosses in there, and it's usually hidden behind the moon or a very out-of-the-way check. So it's good to see. Whether I'd chase it at the moment is not quite what I'd usually do, but LordBobBree says, let's go.
It's very, very aggressive, that evil wall. So that spot, that Bygone spot, no, for its level, not known for being really too difficult, but it's still an evil wall. It's still going to act twice as often. We only have an Edge and a Porum. Really interested to see how he's going to handle that fight, whereas Fleury's sort of going for more traditional... there's different ways you can route Edge Seeds, and Fleury's going for, I want to pick up my characters, I'm just going to get, you know, Watery Pass, Rosa, picked up a Rydia, and, you know, heading to Antlion now, finding a Mom Bomb for his troubles, and just kind of go things, I would, you know, quote-unquote normally. Really interesting stuff here. Mom Bomb, of course, being a pretty annoying fight.
It's an annoying one, but it's not a dangerous one, especially in this spot. You're only having to deal with 500 in the first little phase. You're just going to ignore the extra 9,000 and then just take out the mini bombs with the flame spell.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, love seeing a Mom Bomb this early. It can just be a really rude fight later on. Meanwhile, LordBobBree is in that evil wall fight. Casts the slow spell, pretty heads up. Edge is, we're fast anchored here, and without going deep into agility stuff, slow is more effective when you have a fast anchor. But Porum getting hit, kind of going down immediately. Not the best sign, but LordBobBree says, I'm team hold A, only taking 66 damage around here. Honestly, I think pretty likely to get through this fight. The question is going to be the Baron thrown after this.
Yeah, compared to the Yang spot where Octomom was, this little area is not that dangerous. That stone spell, that pet fight might come back to haunt him a little
spooky,
bit because
but
of that.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, but through the fight, going to be checking that Baron throne. Looting a little bit as well. why not? The loot in this space can be a little bit more lucrative than some others.
Yeah, super early. I love looting Baron. There's a little treasury down there too if you really want it. LordBobBree finding CPU. This is a required fight, and it's not trivial. Meanwhile, Fleury did pick up a hook for his troubles at Antlion Cave, I believe, so rewarded for kind of the routing choices he's made so far. Continuing to pick up characters, going to get 2 more in Mysidia, while LordBobBree has to honestly puzzle his way through the CPU. Palom and a Palom.
This it's a good couple of characters to pick up. Kane's been sort of a Swiss Army knife this particular tournament, so yeah. We'll see who our last character is, and then we'll be settling on this team, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say that I love finding the Palom validating what I thought Fleury might be doing, which is saying, I have Porum, I want to find characters until I find Palom, but then kind of invalidates what I was about to say by getting rid of Porum. I really like access to that twin magic, but he does have 2 really strong weapons for this team. He's got that ninja sword, he's got the Gungnir, so maybe saying I don't really need the double white mage here. I don't need the extra power from twin cast because I've got the weapons.
How much sort of stock do you put in trap chests at the moment? Considering you've got Edge and Kane.
Yeah, trap chests for me, I've honestly liked taking some sort of experience to get down the hook route. And it's kind of either like doing a Siren or on Ordeals, or the traps can be okay if you like you really want some power and the experience. Get Quake on Palom, for instance. Pinktail for LordBobBree, that he will be able to curry that into something after going to Antlion. Don't know what it is yet. But yeah, I like the traps when I need the experience as well, and when I have a ninja sword and a Gungnir, I'm less likely to want to spike something out of Eblin. Right, because I've already got some power, but it's still kind of interesting play just for the experience.
Yeah, might just need that little bit of extra experience for the Palom to get to Quake, which is a big threshold for him.
Yeah, it also just represents a pile of money that you can use to then spend in Cave Eblin or in, you know, your early underground checks. And there's that Tella, our last character. Fleury taking a moment wondering, okay, Radio was my anchor, I'll swap out now, set her for a slingshot later. And I think our team's pretty set for the moment.
Yeah, this is a very all-rounded team. Couple of good attackers in Kane and Edge. The rest are all fairly potent mages in their own right.
Fleury finding a blue robe at Ordeals 1. Which one is this? I think that's going to be... yeah, it's a water hag. Not quite our alt gauntlet.
Yeah, and no 1% today, so it's not one of our requireds.
Nope, and honestly, don't love seeing it here. Ordeals 1 is usually a pretty easy fight. Stats are very bad, it's very slow. So it's kind of a freebie in a freebie spot. But that's okay. We'll get through this, get a little pep talk, and see what's in the back attack.
Not even Edward in the seat to make this speech meaningful either.
Ed's taking a nice long vacation somewhere. He's just chilling. Maybe he's in bed. Actually, he's in bed, right?
Yes, he is.
That's where I should be right now. But that's okay. This is fun. Golbez back attack Ordeals.
Yeah.
Don't love seeing it. Yep, Fleury trying to get in a run buffer so he could have time to maybe knock someone down, but at the back attack spot, you don't get that time, even with Edge anchoring here.
Yeah, there's no wait period in this back attack spot like there is with the Wyvern, and Golbez just goes straight into what he wants to do, and that's eat 3 of your characters.
Yep, LordBobBree checking the waterfall, just finding the Baron guards, not what we're looking for. And yeah, Fleury run buffered that because he's in trouble. This spot. Now, okay, maybe he's fast enough, and it's actually... I'm going to guess it's true, but I don't know, and I'm going to guess he doesn't know. Also, that ribbon, very, very helpful. If he's fast enough, like if Edge is anchored fast enough, you can get off a Star Veil without really worrying, but otherwise this spot has so much magic tag that it is going to one-shot with any spell that it does. Having 3 party members is very helpful, though. Turns this from a 50-50 into less than that. I get a feeling we're fast enough anyways. Yeah, it gets a Veil off.
Yeah, Edge is fast enough in this spot normally, so this is going to be fine. I mean, but yeah, you're absolutely right about those spells. If Edge wasn't in the center, this might have been a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, and Fleury, clearly unsure about what was going to happen there. Don't blame him for trying to find everything he could to make sure that that was going to go his way. LordBobBree, by the way, meanwhile, finding in that little hidden waterfall room a Mute Dagger that I'm not positive if Fleury grabbed or not. It very well might have, but the Mute Dagger, very, very helpful. Again, we're looking for Magus Sisters. Really helpful for that fight.
Fleury did not go that far into the waterfall, picked up the Rosa, and then backed out from that point.
Yeah, very defensible. I mean, without the teller, you kind of walk all the way in and then kind of have to walk back out. Especially after grabbing the treasure, you don't blame him. So that could be an advantage for LordBobBree going forward. Really just depends where the Magus Sisters are.
Or any other mage boss that might be around. Except for Sora, which... Yeah.
yeah. So it would be the Ruby phase of Elements. Also very relevant. Meanwhile, Rat Tail for Fleury up on Ordeals. Can turn that in immediately. And so there's Ruby. Kind of spoke him into existence. But not the form that's a mage, by the way.
What? He's casting fire spells? He's a mage?
He is a mage, but he's not a mage. It's like how Bahamut's a dragon, but he's not a dragon.
I guess, yeah.
This game is, it's coded the way it is. But yeah, leg here today, gone today. I was gonna say gone tomorrow, but that doesn't make sense.
And it could have been in here on 59 on 11:59 on the clock and gone at 12 of midnight.
Chat.
I know it's very.
I appreciate that. Chat speculating on Bahamut's true form.
Bahamut's true form is unknown. We will never know it, and Bahamut will look at you and mega nuke you if you don't, if you want to know it.
Yeah, I mean that is the trial he sets forth. LordBobBree getting the unfortunate cursor problem where you go to do an AoE target against these bombs that are forming, and if you don't wait until the single cursor turns into all of them, you end up just hitting one bomb. Of course, Mon Bomb's in an early enough spot, you can just kind of throw those Thor Rages, which are very handy early game, by the way. I love throwing them like that.
They're meant to be there for...
Speaking of dragons, that's a wyvern.
Oh, hello, Wyvern.
Hi, Wyvern. Clark.
Any mega nukes? Yeah, there's one. Edge says, I have a wall available.
Now, it's not enough, one Mega Nuke, and we've seen runners get a little bit stymied at this fight before if you don't have power, but Ninja Sword? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, Edge just makes that so possible in the spot that he's in, and because he's just so fast, these overworld spots really don't match up to him very well.
Yeah, that's that power that you spoke of. Speaking of power, we're getting a pink tail check here. Could be anything tier 7 or 8. Or it's a Moonveil,
Nope.
which could
I
be
don't
very
hate that.
useful. I don't hate it. I'm not sure I love it, but it could be much worse. It's functional.
It's definitely not ideal, but
No.
yeah, it's something that could be used. You don't get as many veils in the Red Moon flag set as you do in the Blue Moon, so having a spare wall isn't a bad idea.
No, not at all. Speaking of Red Moon, how happy do you think Fleury is for finding cabins in a shop?
I hear they're pretty rare, despite the fact that they shouldn't be.
Yeah, Red Moon flags. One of the things we realized early in practicing these flags, and we had a hand in forming these, Boychuk and I, but they don't involve camping gear, and it kind of changes up some of your early game and how you end up getting your health and MP back. But so it's very nice to find that camping gear.
I really think that the big problem with finding camping gear is because most people just don't want to go shopping in the overworld, and that's a possible place where they're going to be.
Yeah, for a lot of runners, shopping is slow. Want to go fast? Zoom, zoom. Shop bad? Zoom good.
So it's not that there isn't camping gear; it's just you don't find it because you don't go to the right place. That's all.
Right. Yeah, and some runners, don't want to really risk the variance of I checked shops and I didn't hit, the camping gear that I wanted. But I like Fleury doing a little bit of shopping, LordBobBree doing a little bit of shopping, because you want to find life potions, you can find cabins, you can find there's all sorts of useful things that you can find. Especially if the shops aren't really that out of the way, like that Fabul shop was. One of the reasons why I like not fading Fabul defense, by the way, is getting access to that shop.
Yeah, it's very convenient, and both the weapons and the weapons and armor in the same shop, as well as the items just across the way, is not too out of it. So it's one of the few that I will definitely go and check usually myself.
Yeah, I do a little bit of shopping. A little bit up front, and then of course underground. Is Val being at this spot, at the Zot 1 spot, is this like Val stepping out of her home and being like, like taking 5 feet outside of the house to be like, what's going on here?
Just getting a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
She is the wind elemental after all. She needs to.
I should not find that so funny, but it's so simple. It's true. She's a breath of fresh air. You're so right about that.
And just look at her hair. It's so majestic. She just wants to feel the wind in it.
Oh, it is beyond majestic. I sometimes wonder if some designs come from. I mean, I imagine so, but there's a character in Guilty Gear named Milia Rage who is her thing is just like her weapon is her hair. It really makes me think of Valis's flowing hair. Shout out to Guilty Gear. Fleury,
it's not exactly her. Yeah, it's not exactly her weapon. It's her shield.
Oh, what is her weapon then? She kind of weaponizes it, but
but it's more her shield, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's what she uses to defend herself.
Yeah, that's fair. Piggy meta, by the way. We've got some yellow-eared piggies. There's a certain set of bosses that means. I want to say that's Blue Robe, something else maybe? Don't super remember.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. Well, it does actually matter, because that's an alt gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, it tends to not matter, because it's like, you're going to do the fight anyways, but we like speculating about, or at least I like speculating about what that piggy's going to be. At the one spot where, you can't see the boss, which is the Zot 2. But yeah, alt gauntlet acquired.
Yeah, so that's 4 bosses we've seen so far. And this has been a bit of a stacked overworld.
You know, these seeds have a way. Like bosses really don't care about your key item gating logic. They don't care about anything. They can just kind of be anywhere. And but we've seen so many of these seeds go from stalled to jet, or from jet to stalled. You spoke about Baron earlier, having those bosses. How nice it is to have that key. Baron in this tournament has gated a number of races now, being required or hard required, because bosses can be hidden in there. So finding 4 bosses without even going down the hook route, definitely is gonna weigh on their mind, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, we've seen it a lot that people are delaying going to the underground until they've completed the entire overworld, almost constantly. If they've got checks to make, such as this Surf Crystal, that they've got the Baron Key, they're going to go and make them before going underground, because that hook route is scary.
It absolutely is. It's scary, and we were talking about traps. You asked me about traps earlier. Doing Zot sort of fills the role for me of taking traps in Eblan Castle, just from the gaining experience perspective. So when I have access to this check, I do like it for that reason. And then I think the other reason our runners really are prioritizing this is because we have a Tella and that darkness. If that darkness shows up early, you really don't want to be the runner that faded it. Just because of that D machine.
Yeah, the darkness crystal also gates so much. Not only does it give the D machine option, but it's also got
8 bosses total, right? K value, 5 in LST, and 2 on the giant.
Yeah, the 6 bosses on the moon itself, the 2 in the giant, and that's a lot of boss spots to check.
It is. It's also a shop. There's a lot up there. And okay, just a Dragoon armor, but you're not mad because you found a required boss at Zot 2, so you did need the Earth Crystal for that. Zot 1, of course, not needing the Earth Crystal to climb up. Yeah.
And now heading into Baron Inn for Fleury. Going to be picking up that Baron Key, and most likely jumping into the castle straight away as well.
Yeah, I love this routing choice by Fleury. This is an interesting one that I end up chatting with about Possum, actually. So I had a race where I chose to do a Twin Harp into Zot into Baron Inn, because there's 2 ways you can look at this, right? You can either look at doing checks in sort of an efficiency order of where, just movement, right? And then you could also instead look at checks as doing them in difficulty order. And the difficulty order would be to do Baron Inn earlier because it's easier, it's faster, and this could have had a darkness, for instance, or something else that might help you out to make Zot an easier check, or even a check you might want to put off. Though I think that's unlikely in this case, but it's going to work out really well for Fleury because he's going to be able to do Zot into Baron Inn, into Baron Castle, and that just from a routing perspective it's super efficient.
Yeah. And the other thing is doing Zot to get into to go into Baron Inn actually is a bit meaningful if there's something that's dangerous in this second spot. While going from Baron Inn to Zot doesn't really change a whole lot because you don't really get experience in here. There's only a small amount from the very first one. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. You need certain things to come from this check to give you the power to make the Zot check easier, especially if you're always going to do it. So yeah, I like Fleury's choice a lot here. As that Baron Key has an option to check that shop. LordBobBree really didn't have the money. Not sure if he looked at it, but Fleury, having played about 26 minutes of this seed, now has some cash in hand, could step in if he's interested in any weaponry or armor there, and yeah, we're going to get exactly what I thought here. Going to get an shop check.
Yeah. Most important thing there were ethers. Tella does rely on them quite a bit.
Shirt. Yeah, Tella ether is very, very helpful. Love the charm rod pickup. Black shirt. Maybe he had one already. That was the that was the Palom shop right there.
Nobody needs a whole lot really, but having extra is always a nice thing.
Yeah, he doesn't need it, but the extra is really impactful. I mean, you can add the charm rod and the black shirt, and add up to, I mean, could up to double the damage you could deal with Quake, depending on what he's already got on. But yeah, I mean, we're at a point here. Flurry up a little bit on Chucks. I don't think LordBobBree has headed toward deals. Doesn't know that Tella, I believe, is in the seed. And this really has just kind of come down to, I would say, routing decisions, because the Baron Inn and Baron Castle were a little bit slower for LordBobBree.
Yeah, they pretty much crisscrossed, going in different directions, and now we're at the crossover point, and LordBobBree is just finishing up what Flurry did, and Flurry is finishing up what LordBobBree did.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess to be fair, depending on where LordBobBree goes here, might not even go to Ordeals. No, just dropping the hovercraft off. Yeah, now we're going to climb the mountain. I think LordBobBree is only going to be a little bit behind. Ooh, Chocobo Forest Chuck. Odin. I love that Chuck.
Well, we found Odin.
We did. Not in a shop, but in a forest.
We can mark that off on the tracker now, can't we?
Oh, the Odin? Yeah. Need to add that to the tracker. Just, yeah, yeah. Not the boss, unfortunately, but I still like the idea of, like, a couple of cheeky, like, item checks being on a tracker somewhere. Found the carrots. Found the Odin-only shop.
LordBobBree going up Ordeals here, though, and Flurry finding that add CPU. It's dangerous, really, to if these two have both come in this early, the bounty being this early, and just skipping Ordeals, you're missing out on the possibility of checking these bosses. It's dangerous if you do either. If you don't, if you skip either. So yeah. No surprise that they're both here.
Yeah, I think so too. It just represent too many bosses, honestly. On top of the key item chucks. Flurry has a faster way through this with that Quake. Honestly, could just, I think, Quake now. This spot only has 4,000 hit points. The orb split it a bit, so it's maybe more 3,500-ish. One Quake with all that he's got on. I should be able to take this out now.
Yeah, orbs, by the way,
not flying.
Yeah. LordBobBree having a terrible time of trying to take down Teller, kept attacking Palom instead.
Look, sometimes the old man just doesn't want to go down.
We know.
He's like, this is my mountain, this is my fight, you can't take me out. No.
We find in the gold beds. How prepared is he for this?
Gonna find out the quote-unquote good news. Mandatory comedy session just as you get over this bridge. Just kind of get sneak attacked by it.
Oh, at least Goldbear's found it funny.
That's the important part.
I wonder if the joke was, why is Teller on the ground?
Because he tried to cross the... I don't know. I got nothing.
Bridge? Because he tried to cross the bridge. There we go.
Yeah. Yep. That's the joke. We did it. It'll be so funny that in a moment Gobez will fall down in laughter, like really, really far.
To answer Hooded Ornament, the statues in the Baron Castle today were, on the left was Rubicante, on the right was Zemus.
I always love it when those two sprites actually face the direction of the walls. It just makes me happy. because they can face various different directions. I love that change, by the way. We made that change fairly recently. Used to always be Palamon Porum. They're going to find that Pale Dim. Unlikely to take this fight. Yeah, resets immediately.
Yeah, Pale Dim there is actually a lot more dangerous than you might think. I mean, the Odin spot doesn't hit especially hard. It's more known for its magic power, but it's extremely fast.
It's extremely fast, and every time you punch it, it slows you down, and without like perfect anchoring, and without a cursed ring, we're not perfectly anchored. That slow is meaningful. So it's just a very annoying fight. Yeah, I don't want to take it on right now.
Fleury's going to go check the pink tail and the rat tail that we gained. Let's see what one of these gives.
This would have to be Twin Harp to continue any overworld progression. Very unlikely. Or nope, it's a spoon.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no Ed in the seed, but that spoon, pretty ready to lead. About 10,000 hit points off of any boss. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that. And since we're just about to go through the hook route to the underground, that could be a very nice sort of just speed up to get through one of those two bosses if you feel like you need it.
Oh yeah, let's say that the King-Queen spot, which is known for being super punchy, let's say it's Antlion, I would not be surprised to see that spoon thrown immediately. It's just kind of a get-out-of-jail-free card.
And another one which could be there is that elusive and infamous DKC.
Oh yeah, the DKC at the King-Queen Eblin spot, taking its Dark Wave damage formula off the attacks damage of the spot. That one has stymied a number of runners. That I would also not blame either of these runners, just cashing in a spoon for one-shotting it and saying, yeah, I don't want to deal with this.
Underclaw in the Cave of Blana shop. Fleury thought about it, said, yeah, I really should take one of these. I've still got Odin on the table, a few bosses that are weak to lightning down the line. I'll happily take that for edge.
Oh yeah, turn that Thunder Sword into basically quadruple its damage against Odin. Yes, please.
Not risking too much in the way of looting though.
Yeah, we already got our. I think we've already got a lot of the loot that we want. Don't really want to risk hitting the trap. The Sailman fight is notoriously annoying to fight. Likes to put you to sleep. Could be just really rude and slow. Yeah, and to answer a question in chat about what the treasury was. Treasury had a ninja sword, it had a Gungnir, it had a ribbon, and probably some other stuff. But it was pretty good for this party.
Sparkle in the Rubicante spot. Fleury has a history.
Yes, this is just Ogo, right?
Yeah, this is. There's no other doubt about. There's no real doubt about it. Because it's Fleury. It's like Diogo.
I mean, it could be the learners. Did we see Plague?
We haven't seen Plague yet. No.
Yeah. We've seen Wyvern. We've seen Pale Dim. But yeah, Fleury is having flashbacks.
But then again, this is if it is Ogo, Spoon is going bye-bye.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, we see a swap here. We're going with a slow anchor in the middle with Tella. This is very important. The King-Queen Eblin spot is outrageously fast. It's meant to just get you through that scripted fight. So it's just super fast for that. And we have Dark Elf.
First part of this isn't. It doesn't feel bad, but it actually is a little bit worse than you might think because Dark Elf is so fast. Whilst that it's going to get to the weak and the piggy stage pretty quickly. But the second stage of this, is also going to be dangerous because the punches are going to happen very, very quickly. And hard.
Yep, the punchers. There's also the Dark Dragon Breath. But yeah, one Quake taking him out of this form. Good to see it because Piggy can take out a mage and weak plus any of those spells. But yeah, there's that punch. Just Hallam, get out of here. Fleury taking advantage of Dark Elf losing the boss bit, going to cast the stop spell with Tella. Will actually function and stop the Dark Elf if we need it.
And you don't mind your characters going down at this little stage, mostly because there's no experience in this spot. So.
Yep. Meanwhile, LordBobBree wants to tangle with some Mad Ogres. This is likely a play to get Quake on the Palom, more than anything. Also a chance at any kind of decent gear for the team. But yeah, this feels like a play for Quake more than anything. As he is just shy.
Wouldn't mind an Avenger. I think that would probably be the best pull out of a trap chest here.
Oh, Avenger would be, yeah, for Kane would be amazing.
LordBobBree's got Ninja Mute for Edge. I really don't think there's going to be too much improvement over that, even with a Masamune.
Yeah, Masamune would be a little bit better. Defense Sword would be better for Kane, but yeah, from a how do I put it? The most effective pull for sure would be an Avenger. Very possible. We'll see what it does. Gets through, gets his Quake, might even get Blink for Rosa. Yeah, Blink is also possibly very helpful. Crystal Armor. Well,
Crystal Armor.
Ah, that's Plague. Big sigh of relief on Fleury's side. Big sigh of relief. You still have to tangle with this, by the way.
This isn't really too bad, mostly because Edge is just so fast and compared to the Anchor. So once the Berserks are up, this should be fine. But yeah, it's Plague. Hey, no one wants to deal with Plague.
Yeah, Fleury taking this smartly. I think some runners will have an instinct to go very aggressive here. You're not perfectly anchored, you can't do it. You need to get somebody down and pick them back up. So we see the Tella virus himself out, Rose is going to cast the Life. And we're going to do this a few times as this spot has 25,000 hit points to chew through.
Yeah. I think it's right for Fleury to just fight this naturally, though. This isn't a fight that you really need to throw a spin. This is a safe fight as long as you know pretty much what you're doing with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the one fight that you can't leverage that Quake, which is a little bit of a shame, but you know, so it goes. It could have been Ogo instead, and then actually Quake would have been kind of difficult there too, but at least against Ogo you can like bluff up a couple times and, you know, really deal precision damage with that spell, but that's okay. Still happy to see Plague, still get through the fight. Honestly, Dark Elf into Plague, pretty tame hook route. It is,
yeah. What this does tell our runners, though, is that we've got 2 Sparkles left. Both of them are required bosses. So, you see a Sparkle, you know what's coming up.
Yeah, you know where chat wants to see that Ogre, right?
I have seen a few people say Leviathan.
Uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh.
Another one I would like to see go at is sort of Cave Bahamut.
I'll also go with the Element spot.
That would do fine just as well. The CPU spot isn't exactly an easy one either.
No, CPU would not be easy either. But yeah,
but then again, it's Ogo. You don't want to see an Ogo.
No, you just don't want to see it anywhere. Except maybe like the cannon room. Though sometimes, you know, once in a while you get a bit too sure of yourself, or I'm just speaking for myself really, you know, and run up the tower after having maybe turned in Sheila 1 or set up Sheila 1, run into the cannon room, hit a Sparkle, not really thinking, find Ogo, get get waved and just die. I've definitely been there before.
I might have died to that multiple times. Not only Ogo, but Leviathan in that particular situation as well.
Yep. So, a hot tip, you can press A stepping into the room. It's what I do all the time now. Because you can get rid of that dialogue and see who the boss is before you step forward.
Left or right also works.
That's
but yeah.
Also, Luge...
as long as you don't press up, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Luge at the top of... is that right? We didn't see Luge? I might be seed blending. But if that's Luge, yeah, it's not super happy to see that top of tower. But we do have that tower key. Don't blame Fleury for just dropping down right now.
Just saving multiple times just to be sure. I have done that plenty of times.
Yeah, sometimes you're not sure, like, did I save or not? Because you're playing off of muscle memory, right?
Yeah. And you make one change, and then you save.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry cutting you off, but this is spooky for LordBobBree. Everybody's down. I don't know if we've thrown a life potion out. This is sort of that hubris I was talking about. Now, we are double zerked up, but I don't know that we're RA1.
We should be, because that is a base level teller, and Edge does have that ninja sword. So, and if Kane's RA2, that's good enough.
Might be enough for the 1 and the 2. Okay, that makes sense. Very well done. Very good setup then for LordBobBree. Just able to cruise through this. Hello, Magus Sisters. Goodbye, Magus Sisters.
We barely knew ye.
Well, that takes that mute dagger advantage out of the equation largely. Unfortunately for LordBobBree, but that's okay. LordBobBree really not far behind at all. Really just like a cannon room check behind at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. And a little bit of walking down to get your Falcon airship. Fleury deciding, I'm just going to do the cannon ring. I don't want to deal with the boss at the top.
Yeah, how do you feel about this play?
I think it's dangerous, honestly. Just going to check what the key item behind that, because we still haven't found the darkness crystal at this point.
Yeah.
With the darkness being off the table at the moment and hidden, you don't really want to skip out on key item locations, especially pertinent ones like the top of tower. How many times have we seen that place hold something important?
Frequently. It is definitely spooky. We'll see. This is a key item check for Fleury.
We can go heal a piggy.
We can go get our piggy! Yay! Yeah, it's a sand ruby. We're on Sino Urn. Sino Urn,
and then have it promptly run away.
Yeah, it's cute at least, but yeah, it's not a character. We got value out of it though. It was a boss. But yeah, I mean, you're right that you're kind of this is an aggressive play. You know, it's saying I'm gonna gamble that I can find this darkness elsewhere, basically, and it's an informed gamble that's like, you know, there's so many other places to check, meaning I can kind of afford one fade, right?
And Wolf Castle is required today. We've got a boss. Well, we've got a Sparkle, which happens to be... Hello, Ogo.
There's that Ogo. Okay, so... A good friend of mine named Martin Broadcloak loves to call this spot Mini Ogo Pogo.
I can understand why.
Yeah, call it that because this spot, for its level, this is normally the dolls, has an incredible amount of attack power and an incredible amount of magic power. It is not free. And it also has a bunch of health. Thankfully, we are very strong. Like, we're gonna get through this, but it's a little spooky.
Yeah, with Rosa being able, with plenty of curative options,
barely surviving.
Yeah. Those cure frees that we got at the start have been pivotal in a lot of races, and being able to just cure like this from zero, pretty much 0 to full health, very helpful.
Yep. And Fleury able to get through his nemesis and that Ogopogo. Another objective down. We're already at 6 bosses. I'm like counting and recounting to make sure that, yeah, that's 6.
Feymarsh was not exactly hard, but not exactly easy either. Dark Imps in the Leviathan spot. 3 hard-hitting bosses there to deal with. Not, but they are the Dark Imps. And VKC in the Asura spot, which once you get enough hit points, that one is easy. But you, at this point, not enough on the team.
Yeah, it's a big hit point check. Fleury might end up being rewarded because... So Fleury took the routing choice of not going down Feymarch immediately. This gets him access to a few extra shops, maybe sirens, experience, you know, basically stalling the Feymarch, being ready to take on any of the bosses that are down there. Now, nothing's going to be required for him down there, but if he buys coffins or hourglasses along his way, he can take on those Dark Imps. They actually become free. May even be incentivized to take on DKC if he's leveled enough for it. And then if either of those have darkness, like, could very well validate his routing choice.
How many are 8 key items? Is this going to be the 9th?
That's the pan.
Yes.
That could be big.
Yeah, because that puts him to 9 key items, pretty much guarantees 10 before the moon, which means your grind is pretty much going to be halved in speed at this point, because there's been a lot of people who grind early before 10 key items. That's not going to be the case this time.
Yeah, and you're often validated for doing so. I find it very difficult to collect 10 key items before going to the moon, but this seed, when you had Zot and Baron Key and Rat Tail this early, I really like gunning for the 10 key items. And, I mean, it all depends where darkness is going to be. There's the sirens here in Tamra. Time to sell the farm, see how many he's interested in buying. Could be up to 15 if he wants that radio. Yeah, buys 14.
I think that's just as a precaution. And,
yeah, it's not...
I don't see him really going back and picking up Rydia at this point. I feel both of our runners are set with their team. Rydia doesn't give Ev a whole lot of extra, except really just taking up a lot of time to get her up to nuke at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. You've got 2 good Circers. Palom can contribute with tier 3 elementals at Ceremis. If you wanted to be safer about it, yeah, you could go towards the reflex strat idea, but yeah, you would have to swap out your team for that. And that takes time.
Yeah. If anyone was going to come in from the Tower of Wishes, it would likely be more Porum than Rydia in replace with that Palom, to just get people zerked up quicker if you don't have Barker's Wines, which we do, so Porum's off the table as well now.
Yeah, all 3 shops in the underground, they don't always roll tier 5 items in the shops, but today they did, so pretty good there. We'll see if Fleury is interested in either of these bosses down here, and we'll also see where LordBobBree wants to go after Dwarf. Might just head immediately for that pan. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Fleury pausing. Wondering what to do here.
He's thinking about it, but honestly, I don't think he can with his hit point levels either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fleury didn't pick up any hourglasses from Dwarf, so
okay.
And we haven't seen coffins yet. So the Dark Imps are a lot more dangerous. As LordBobBree has picked up a few hourglasses, so maybe more incentivized to go back there a bit later.
Yeah, he may not have wanted them because he's already taken on the Alt Gauntlet, the hourglasses. That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure he never actually went and checked the shop. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I meant for Fleury.
So,
Yeah, LordBobBree. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think Fleury intentionally left a save. We saw him resave, but up top in Feymarch. So we're going to check the pan, and then if this doesn't have darkness or a path to darkness, which would have to be Twin Harp Luca key at this point, he knows he's going to get a 10th key item. I think he'll reset out. Like if he gets part of Forge, I think he's going to reset. Package? I don't know. Might have to keep that. I think there's also actually the cutscene, now that I think about it. You don't want to reset out of that. The cutscene of going back above ground.
Yeah, LordBobBree, he faded for ball, so has been behind this check as well, but this shouldn't be too slow. We'll get the tower key from that, which is why he didn't go up to the top of tower as soon as he finished going through the hook route.
Which will honestly, well, it'll work out for him if darkness is here. I think he's still likely to head to the tower room anyways, I would think, because it represents a boss too. But yeah, I don't think this is going to punish him too hard, because he did get to Fade Fable by doing this and get the single dip with the pan.
Sheila gives? Well,
Sheila won. That pan?
That second item isn't exactly bad either.
No, it isn't, but that pan represented a Charm Rod and a Stardust Rod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as. So you could say that Sheila has the moon and the stars.
That was so good, Poydrak. She does. She has the moon and the stars for Yang, who's resting so peacefully after getting hit upside the head with a pan. Fleury dipped
That does
underground
mean that. Yeah, I wonder if he was just wondering if he should go and do that top of tower. But moon, that's a lot more tempting.
Yeah, I was also wondering if he was thinking he should do eggs or not. Because either you go down right and you do eggs, or you take your grind somewhere else. Or maybe you raise the whale, and this is the perfect time to think. If you're not sure what to do from here, go raise the whale. You get, like, a good number of seconds to think about your life.
Yeah. Do you want to go underpowered up the top? Do you go to the top risking to find hourglasses, which Fleury doesn't have? Find the coffins that haven't been found yet? It's more likely an elixir up there, but it might be a coffins. Or do you just stick down and do you grind down here?
Yeah, I'm curious if Fleury actually does have those hourglasses. I almost thought I saw him buy them. If he does, then you could do the gold dragons. We're gonna get a party swap. Maybe. We stepped in, we're thinking about it. We're outside, we're back in.
Fleury is very undecided about if he wants to bring this video along.
Alright, kid, you're on the team. Ah, Tella. Might get a porn
This can't be.
Okay, it's
this can't be for
anchor?
anchoring purposes. It can't be. You wouldn't swap Tella for a Rydia anchor when you've got an edge in the cane.
I wouldn't think so either, but yeah, so Fleury swapped out Tella for that Rydia, and I think now we're all going to be wondering what's on his mind here. We are heading over to do eggs.
Because essentially, with how slow Tella is it makes no difference if it's a level 1 Rydia or pretty close to base level Tella.
Yeah, the Tella might have had 10 or 11 agility, which is not perfect. I don't know how many levels he had, but but you're right, the cane and the edge are fast enough that they can overcome that, and the mages being a little bit slower really only stymies you if you try to take like a very low level Soromis.
Yeah, but even with a level with 10 agility, a Palam and Rosa get to that at level 50. Get to 25, 26, 27 at level at the 50 mark. So they overcome it as well.
So this might be instead a play for low-level Zerkers? We'll see. We'll see how far he wants to take this grind. I would imagine he would go to Nuke and White. I don't think it would take that much longer to do so. You have, well, theoretically just one more boss to do, though you don't know where it is. But LordBobBree, in the meanwhile, having checked the tower key himself, got his Magus Sisters out of the way, gonna get his Sad Ruby as a reward, which will actually be a Joyous Ruby, because I think it's also his 10th key item. Not sure if he found those sirens himself, but if he didn't, he's certainly heading over towards shops. Yeah, so he's going to find those sirens as well. And I think we're going to see dueling eggs.
That is a sight to behold. I didn't know eggs could fight.
Wait, okay. If you ever want to see eggs fight, charm them. Do you know what they do when you charm? What happens when you charm an egg?
I'm not entirely certain I want to know.
Well, whether you want to know or not, I guess. By the way, job check, thank you, LordBobBree. Quarry worker, oh, ran in just for that and then exited. That's man of the people right there. Okay, I learned this from Possum, I think. They're specially scripted, like intentionally scripted. When they're charmed, they start a chain and they punch twice. Like the Senator Crocodile.
Hey.
And they punch your team, not themselves. Also, they kind of have some decent attack power.
I think Paul plays poorly, says it completely right there. LordBobBree's raising the well. Only bought a few sirens, but does have hourglasses. So this looks like it's a grind on the moon situation for him, which is going to be slightly quicker.
It's hard to say. I guess her damage output is Zerk and also Quake. Quakes against the eggs are guaranteed, but they're slower than Virus. I want to say Fleury has enough magic attack stat to just virus these. That would be a little bit faster, but certainly not as fast as just holding A, right?
Yeah, LordBobBree does have the teller though, so weak is going to come into play against the Gold Dragons.
That's very true. That's very true. It does take a moment because you have to get through everybody's turn to get to tell it a week and then kind of repeat it, but you only need a few of those to get Zerkers up and running.
One final check on the mountain for LordBobBree was the only boss check he hadn't done. He now knows Earth is pretty much clean except for the Luca Key and the Twin Harp. Moon is the place to be.
Exactly 1 hour in at the moon, LordBobBree going to be the first person to spy one of these moon chucks. Are we going to be in go mode at an hour in, or are these bosses hiding?
Oh, we've got 3 key items that gate 1 boss, and we've got the giant. Moon could have absolutely nothing.
It very well could. Could have a required
pretty
key
much
item.
Got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Not so? Okay, value. I don't think I'm going to take
Yeah, you're not fighting that.
No, but we are going to do these gold dragons, so yeah, hourglass up, and I think you've got it. Looks like we're guarding over to Tella here. As long as he doesn't get punched down, of course he dies. It's just, I just cursed that, it's okay.
Well, he's going to be likely casting his 2 spells, then being put down again because he's not wanting to be gaining levels.
Throw out the life potion, get the life glitch, which effectively just resurrects an enemy, and then it dies immediately because this game is coded the way it is, and you get kind of credit for 2 kills for 1. So every one of these fights is 3 King Ryus. I think it's worth 180,000 per encounter that we want to take here. It's a good amount of experience.
Yeah. Let Tella get the experience.
Yeah.
I think he's seeing this as, I'm likely going to go back down to the Earth. I'll just swap over to Iridia or Poron for my anchor. I can get the levels now. I don't need to waste time dropping Tella because I know I've got a secure anchor down below.
Yeah, it may also be recognizing that with 2 Zerkers, you don't really need a perfect anchor. Wyvern's out of the table, Golbez is out of the table. The moon bosses, we only really need to fight, theoretically only need to fight one of them. And is that, yeah, okay, we're charging up the weak again. So yeah, I guess just deciding we don't really need to anchor super hard anymore.
Yeah, the fact that LordBobBree is only going to be doing 3 of these, because he's only got 3 Sirens and 3 Hourglasses, and Fleury has spent a little bit more time doing multiple eggs. This race has tightened up quite a bit because of that.
Yeah, very much so. And we see Tella going down now. Maybe just unintentional, like an oopsie there. Not really too sure, but Tella does actually gain a surprising amount of agility. Like, you get him to endgame levels, he suddenly got like 20, moving up towards 20 speed. So he's faster than you might think for an old man. He's a spry old man. Fleury gonna see that Turtle says thinking. Yeah, it says no.
Yeah, you don't fight that. It's not required. Yes, it may have twin heart package Luke Key behind it, but that will be the last thing you worry about. You've got 5 other boss spots here to check, 2 bosses to find. There's a good chance.
Fleury looking at that like, I like turtles, but not that one. That is an ancient YouTube reference. Alright, down the LS2 we go. Are you a top-down fan? Are you a bottom-up? What do you want to see here?
In this tournament, top-down has been the way to go, because you don't want to leave that this one check hanging. And yeah. if it's a boss, it's the quickest one to get to. Most times when you come to the moon in this tournament, it's been face check mode.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. Yeah, maybe it's not here, but it really isn't like that out of your way to go to the spot, and if you fade it and it had one of your bosses, you lose a lot of time for coming here. Finds Mylon Zed, thinking, yeah, says no. I mean, likely going to be face checking everything, and then giant, and then maybe, clear some moon spots.
But knowing that one is there, that's an easy fight to get through pretty quickly if you do have to go searching for a key item.
By the way, Asuka, our restreamer, pointing out, D-Mist is still out there.
Oh yeah, I forget that's a thing in Red Moon, isn't it?
Yeah, D-Mist has a key item. Could be anywhere. Could be at the CPU spot. Could be at the element spot. Now, she would have to have, like a chain of key items to make her required, and the boss is behind those key items. So it's not likely at the moment, but, there's a world. There's a world.
Let's say D-Mist into Luke Key, into one of the bosses behind Twin Harp, into one of the bosses behind Package.
Thanks, I hate it.
You're welcome.
Yuck. But meanwhile, down we go. Will Fleury go left or right? Alright, we're going right. Crystal Sword Alter Fade. That's another contentious one I love asking about.
Yeah, it is. There's a doing the crystal sword being very isolated, but a single check. Well, there's 3 checks over here. It's I think it's 75-25 on going right instead of left. But many times have we seen people go left and it pay out.
Yeah, and if you go left and pay out, that means you could, well, in this case, it means you could exit and take that pass. When you have 2 bosses left, it means you can get that boss and then find your last boss down here, and, you know, you kind of get some efficiency there. But, yeah, we're only looking for 1 boss. Found that demist, by the way. We're just going to put that in our back pocket and not worry about it later. Leviathan in the ribbon room. 1 boss on this side left.
Demist in that spot is low-key terrifying because it's not exactly slow, and it's one of the harder hitting spots in the game.
It also very much incentivizes you to YOLO against it because it doesn't have that much health, but if you if you Zerk YOLO incorrectly, it can get very well stuck with some missed counters. King Queen Eblin at the Ogo altar. That, in most cases, is something happy to see, but...
Yeah. Oh, this could... I was just about to mention this. If LordBobBree here goes left, and this is a boss, we're going to be tied.
This
basically
could be huge. Yeah, absolutely.
And this will come down to who is quicker on the Z fight. Let's find out.
That would be very incredible. We've had a number of very close races this entire tournament. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, a lot of them within 1 minute, a lot of them within 2 minutes. Unfortunately, not. Moon is pretty much empty.
Yeah, there is possibly nothing here. There's a world we need to do these bosses because... Sorry, hold on. Fleury discharged up Meteor. I think Quake would take out these dolls. They only have 4 and 8% of the max hit points total, but I love the Meteor charge wind up. Rose are going to tell the kid to take a nap. Going to throw out the hourglasses, mainly to stop the back dolls from even acting.
The ultimate troll is to charge it up, get the Meteor on the screen, and then reset out.
I think I would lose it if he did that. There's that Luca key from the Crystal Sword altar from the dolls.
That's a boss check.
Spicy. Oh, are you going there? Are you going giant? What are you going to do, Fleury?
Giant, it makes the most sense because you have to go through this cutscene anyway, and just being it's just a giant. But no, Luca Key is the first check here.
I love it. You are in coin flip-ish mode here. It could be on the giant, it could be behind Luca, it could be behind, I suppose, Twin Harp and Package. That would be a very frustrating case for Fleury, who I suppose has that save at the Crystal Sword altar, but I'm not sure he has a way back to the lower LSD quickly. But yeah, it says, I spiked a Luca key, I'm just going to choose this side of the coin and hope it shows up here.
The other thing is there are two. The three key item checks still down here. Yeah, with the 2 in Famash and the 1 up the top of tower. Still good chance that you pick up the package or the Twin Harp down here.
That's a good point. I forgot about those. We have left those 3 bosses here. Of course, needing only 1 boss, no incentive to take them on immediately. And there's LordBobBree running to the giants. We've got huge divergence here, potentially. Oh, wow. What is going to happen?
This...
Really wondering if Fleury...
Yeah, it depends on if Fleury finds anything here, really.
It does. I'm also wondering if Fleury just saved over that that Crystal Sword Altar save. He might have other saves on the moon if he likes to cycle them. Because there are a number of saves you make on the moon because you're doing all these boss checks. So it might still be okay there. You know, if you reset out and don't get the Luca key, I mean, that's fine. So we'll see. But yeah, ooh. This is the moment to pay attention, y'all. Like, this could be... We're converging on a go mode somewhere very shortly.
Well, it's not like we can't. We're running out of checks.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 key items are looming. Twin Harp and Package are still out there.
And they're both going to be in this fight roughly around the same time.
Alright, Light Sword out of Luca, that's a reward. But we're here for the boss, not really the key item.
There's one boss.
There's Odin! Odin at the element spot.
Fleury, do you have D-Lunas?
No,
you do not.
Elements. This is go mode for LordBobBree. Fleury, where do you go from here? Oh. Okay, that save was at Luca. Are we going to take on some underground checks now, hoping for a key item? Or do we just have to run all the way back up?
We're going giant. I think this is run back to the...
Yeah, giant.
Lunar Well going to giant.
There it is, just like that, crisscrossing the paths. LordBobBree on Fleury's tail for most of this seed. The situation is in reverse now. Fleury on LordBobBree's tail, heading up the giant while LordBobBree's already in the Odin fight.
Yeah, and the Odin fight here is not really a danger. The Odin attack itself is not hard hitting here. Everyone's going to survive it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it does have a huge pile of hit points. Thunder Striking, where you let it attack 3 times, theoretically could be faster, but I'm not positive about that. We are doing a ton of damage. Fleury will have some faster damage output with 2 Black Mages and the Ridia's down. He has the Thunderclaw for that edge, but it's not necessarily enough. I don't know, this is a tough one. But yeah, there's that Odin, doesn't really do anything.
1,000 damage with well over that on all characters. Cure 4 is going to keep everyone alive easily. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to that Thunderclaw on Fleury's side, if that speeds him along any quicker. Because I mean, Edge is doing a lot. Roughly around 3,000. Well, 2,500. But the Thunderclaw is going to be doing something like 5,000 per swing.
Well, we're getting a nuke here. We're zerking Edge now, so I don't know. I don't think he has that Thunderclaw on. Fleury also has to take a moment to take that Ridia out. But yeah, that's Crystal for LordBobBree. Runners have a pass. This is just a moment of warp out, get to Troya, get going.
I think this is still going to be a slightly quicker fight because Fleury does have nuke on Palom, while Palom on LordBobBree's side did not, still doesn't, and because that was relying on the Berserkers. So.
That was a smart Lit Bolt doing twice Kane's hit points damage. Cool, 7k. Yeah, Poindruk, I think you're right about that. Yeah, and he's also going to have that faster fight at Zemus, I think, because of that nuke.
Yeah.
Lit Bolt number 2. I love this.
LordBobBree is just about to head up to Mr. I like to change things around.
I mean, I'm getting real nervous. LordBobBree would have to spend a lot of time here menuing. Like, just certain things are going to have to happen, I think, for Fleury to have a chance. It's never over till it's over, though. I mean, Zemus frequently finds a way to either slow you down or stop you entirely. And we are taking a moment to menu and equip and set things up for LordBobBree, just giving a little bit of time back to Fleury.
Level-wise, these levels are good for LordBobBree, I would say.
Yes.
They're not ideal, because no new compalum, and it's only just hitting 50 on your Zerkers, but they're good enough.
Yep, they are good enough. They're good enough for a slightly elongated hybrid fight. The other option is nuke white reflex with a spoon dart, kind of as chat's pointing out, which is faster if you're well set up for it. And Fleury immediately out of that giant heading, like, we're just basically a cutscene at Zemus behind.
But we are at Zemus. We have our crystals in hand. We're just about to get into this. In the name of the moon, we shall punish who?
We shall punish, I got nothing. Something cute.
Something with a hat.
Something with a butt. Something with a questionnaire about how we, questions that we have about the sprite. I would laugh one day if, by the way, Zemus just changed into nothing. That might be a sprite in here, I don't know. If it just changed into this Zemus form, or this, I guess, pre-Zemus form, that would really...
Well,
really
we do have Zemus as HD, which is just a bigger version of it. But apparently we're not going to see it because we've got our ad blocker sort of installed. Sorry, people. No Z-Sprite for you today.
Yep, just the ad blocker detected. All right, there goes a spoon, and there goes a shake before that slow. We're not perfectly anchored, and nobody, LordBobBree didn't zerk up, I don't believe, immediately, which is going to matter just from a slowing him down perspective. We're also gonna have to take a moment to heal that hand. Yeah, actually, that Big Bang comes out immediately, whereas I think Fleury is much better set up for this fight. This is pretty spooky for LordBobBree.
Yeah, this is going to be close. We need to get that edge zerked as soon as possible. We need to get that cane up as soon as possible, and that's a very fast shake.
Yeah, that is another very fast shake. So this comes back to that Tella. Oh dear, yeah, it has to reset. So this comes back to that taking that Gold Dragon fight and that Tella kind of gaining experience from that first Gold Dragon fight, and I posited that it was going to be fine, and I still think it can be fine if we get our fast boys berserked immediately. That will do a lot of good, but without that setup, LordBobBree switches to a fast anchor, and with that edge in the middle, while Fleury is the spells and the damage is coming hot and fast here.
Yeah. The other danger is, I think LordBobBree went in with battle speed 1 with the teleranker at what he was, so that's just asking for danger. If it was battle speed 3, maybe there'd be a lot more to deal with, time to deal with things. But battle speed 1 with that, asking for a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, without the Zerkers going, every time an attack animation comes out, you're pausing ATB, and they kind of cheat the ATB system. So they sort of act as buffers for other characters to be able to get their turn, just because of the way this game is coded. So getting the Zerkers up immediately is really pivotal to make that work. And LordBobBree says, I'm not quite sure how to make that setup work. I'm going to change tax. We're going to go with the fast anchor. If we have a silk web, it will be extra effective with the fast anchor, but I don't know that it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't believe a silk web was bought by either runner. I think they were seen. I think they were in the Cave of Lana shop. I'm not entirely certain, but I don't think either runner bought them.
Yeah, you tend to. I feel, at least for me in my play, I haven't really prioritized the Soul Club very much because you always have 7 characters available and you tend to know who your anchor is going to be because of that. And then when you're anchored, you don't really need the Soul Club. It's not as impactful as it would be with a faster anchor. It's, again, because of the way this game is sort of the way the ATB system is coded. So, yeah. Yeah,
Fleury, though, Fleury has definitely got the advantage now with the wipe by LordBobBree and a very stable fight that's going on right now. I don't think there's really too much that's not going to go his way.
Yeah, that's a very healthy Rose with 2,600 hit points. Can take a full blast Big Bang in almost all cases, making this fight effectively free. Now, how fast it is, of course, you have to execute it well, but yeah, this is looking really good for Fleury.
Yeah, there's been
LordBobBree.
Yeah, there's been wipes coming out from Rosa as well, so I don't think we're too far away from Meteo. Either this might be a Big Bang into Meteo, which could be dangerous.
It could be if it came out immediately, but that Cure 4 is charged. And actually, it doesn't matter. There it is.
So it would have been if Edge hadn't swung. So there we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Big GG's for Fleury14 in this matchup versus him and LordBobBree in an elimination match. Fleury gets to continue on, and LordBobBree, unfortunately, will be out of this tournament. Big GG's for Fleury.
Official time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, 42 seconds for Fleury14.
I believe we're joined by the professor now. GG's, Fleury.
Thank you. Thanks.
So you've had 10 minutes to cool. How are you feeling?
I just brought the garbage back in, so totally little out of breath, actually. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do over the mountains. But anyway, yeah, I the first 50 minutes to an hour, pretty much up until the point I got Darkness Crystal, I felt like that was as good as I could play Free Enterprise. Like that, I felt really, really happy. Like I nailed the run buffer on Golbez with a false start, but nailed it. Got the run buffer on Wyvern. Hook was solid. Didn't take any extra Eblon chest or stuff like that. The Dwarf Castle fade seemed correct, at least as far as Darkness went. Feymarch was a tough decision. So yeah, like the first hour felt great, and then I have a thing about hitting a 30 boss minimum and going through the moon bosses one by one. Like, well, it's not here. It's not here. And then almost like basically getting lucky, but getting unlucky at the same time by the one fight I did take, because it ends in one turn. Cost me like a minute and a half. But yeah, I
oh, and the Luca key, right?
Yeah, with the Luca key.
Yeah.
I was very satisfied with that. I think that's about as good as it can go for me.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, so walk us through what's on your mind. Yeah, you get that Luca key, you run to Earth. Like, were you always going giant after that?
Yeah, the plan was to go giant. I think if you're gonna bet on 2 out of 3, you gotta go all the way. And if it's not there, like I had to save right next to the Feymarch, because those 2 bosses were gonna be pretty quick and easy. And I had to save on the bottom of the moon, and there were a couple of them that would have been pretty easy too. And that demissed, if it would have held like Harp into package, that would have been a thing. But fortunately, that didn't happen. So
we speculated on it. We tried to will it into existence for you. You're welcome.
Well, I mean, I did have a hoot when y'all already opened the seed with like most of the difficult bosses after the first 10, like in spots where it was like at least a little bit of a threat, And then I see the sparkle on the hook rod, and I'm like, no,
oh yeah.
No,
we talked about
no,
that.
you didn't. And it ended up being Plague, and I was like, oh, good,
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with Ogo. And then he shows up in the mini Ogo spot. All right, great.
We did call that out too. Yep.
But yeah, like I thought it was a pretty straightforward seed. I'd almost like to know what you both were saying as far as commentary went. As far as, do you consider taking those Feymarch bosses before second round?
Personally, at the point that you were at, no. There's too much risk on those particular fights at that particular point, but later maybe.
I would have considered the Hourglass and the Dark Imps and then just clicking it down, personally.
Yeah, that was.
But it's
like,
tough.
Both of them are
It's
fast.
tough. Yeah. It's tough. Like, if Darkness is down there, then, what do you do, right? Except what happened and run back down there. I mean, you're talking about a situation where there's, I think, no clean answer, for me, personally.
Right, there's not. That was like the one thing that was kind of in the back of my mind as I was going through. I thought Fading Dwarf, when you've seen the first boss, and Fading Top of Tower were both pretty reasonable, and if Darkness did end up being there, I don't think, like, let's say you do Dwarf Castle first thing, right? And it does have the Darkness Crystal. You're not gonna not check the Feymarch in the pan. So
Yeah.
I think in the end it doesn't lose that much time. But yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
and-
only thing...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead, Poitrak.
Yeah, the only sort of question I have is, why swap out Teller for Rydia when it doesn't really make too much difference in Anquin? I felt.
Yeah, that was my question, too.
I like to be certain that Palom is going to be RA1. Because on about 5k per round, with one white and him continuously nuking, I will usually not see a Medio. And I think at 9, he has to be 23. At Quake, I couldn't remember, or at Nuke, I couldn't remember if he got to exactly 23 or 22. I kind of knew it was right on the bubble. So I wanted him there for RA1 Nuke at the Z fight. And just RA1 Nuke in general, because like the early Ninja Sword was and Gungnir was great, but that was like pretty much the only weapons I saw.
Yeah.
So
yeah, my own personal thing is do you? Yes, he does get to that point. Apparently, according to Possum, he's 23 at 52. But do you really need RA1 when you've got a couple of Berserkers? So yeah, it's personal preference. And really, if you feel it made things more safe for you, go with that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes sense to me too. It's if you're unsure, you just go for the thing that you know is safe and works. So yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah, I think with RA2 at Z at least on Palom, I'm almost certainly going to eat a combo platter, and then at that point, I think it's almost safer to just not cast any spells whatsoever and eat an extra big bang. And Rosa had 2400 HP, and I'm not PK4787, so that Rosa will survive. So,
Shots
yeah,
fired.
I mean that's absolutely an option. But when I looked at I think you might have saw me check Tella's agility. I did the math in my head, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to grab Iridian and not think about it again.
Yeah, I mean, my only other question, I guess, along those lines is, with the Rydia, did you have any consideration to just double nuke white?
If Darkness Crystal showed up earlier than it did.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, I have a salad going.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know. It's hard to say because like on Edge seeds, Edge along with Fu is one of the starts where anytime you're not like actively going for key items, feels like you're losing time.
Yeah.
So it and especially starting off with like very good weapons to begin with, I was a little hesitant to lean into a D machine if that's what it took. But I mean, I think if you get Tela and you get Darkness on the Overworld before you go Hook, I personally, I don't think it's much of a decision. I think you do it every time. But
I meant more along with the lines when you picked up the Rydia as an anchor. There was an option, right, instead to keep the Tela and then Rydia, Palom, some way.
Yeah, and I think there's certainly validity to that. Like I still had the Dragon Whisker, so after like the first 5 or 6 eggs, I can probably hold A to grind, and that certainly helps. And you know, Kane is Captain Average, so
yes, he is. But yeah, I don't know in that situation actually what's right. But hey, what was right was what worked for you, because you got through the seed, and yeah, you get to keep, you know, your life in the tournament.
Keep on keeping on.
Well done. Keep on keeping on. That's right.
Yeah, I definitely would like to thank Inven and Baka for, especially Inven, for roping me into one of the most hideous SMZ 3 seeds this morning that I've ever played, to the point where I'm not sure it was going to get worse today. So that definitely kept me on an even keel.
Set you up for success through
yeah,
trial
sure.
by
it loosened up your fingers or thumbs,
Yeah.
ready for this.
There you go.
You know, your standard 3-hour no suits, no moon pearl. But anyway, I'm digressing.
We'll let you go and finish your salad. Good win today. Good luck for next week, and whoever you face. And well, generally good luck.
Yeah, it's the goal is to get to the round of 16, or to the point where we're doing best out of 3s. But the road to that is not easy, so there will have to be a lot of practice in there. But
You
appreciate
can do
y'all
it.
taking
Do
the
the
time.
thing.
do the thing. But yeah, I appreciate you all taking the time to get this restream out. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for putting on such a good show. It was a delight. All right, Poitrak, just like that, we're done. We're done, so we're out of here.
Wait, you mean I get to go to bed?
Yeah, you get to go sleep.
I don't believe that. Mostly because I know what I'm like, but there you go. But yeah,
hard relate.
we are done though. Thank you for Astica for doing our restream today. A fried potato for being our tracker. Solaris and me, well, we talk.
Yeah, it was a real delight to do this with you, Poitrak.
So I do believe we're heading over to Ugbloot the Orc, who is learning to play Free Enterprise, and you can too if you want to just go to our website, FF4FE.com. You can create your own seeds, get started, and join our Discord, because we're wonderful people mostly, and we do have a lot of people who are willing to help you start. So other than that, wish you a good evening and happy playing.
Yeah, no, this is a great community. Please come join us. Also, real quick, we do have one more match tonight. This should be Cecil 2 versus Guerre, and that's going to be 8 p.m. Oh, that's my time, sorry. 9 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise 2, so that'll be pretty shortly, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then there's going to be a bunch more races tomorrow. But yeah, otherwise, that was Asuka, that was Potato, that was Poitrak and I, and until next time, bye.